pile up on the c5 pawn. This might be black's only remaining target. He wants to play queen c1, induce the move b6, and blast open the queen side with b3 to b4, and then operate down the c file. And again, if black's queen moves, I think he automatically pushes the d pawn up to d6 to open that diagonal up, for goodness sake.
As soon as you get the opportunity, you likely want to play it. And right now, Lim Lei, he's down to about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. He's spending quite a lot of time on this move. He knows it's a critical moment. He might play e4 to shut down this bishop, but that would invite d3. So, I like this. Down here, the rooks are staring in the correct direction. f4 looking like a bigger and bigger threat.
f4 is a huge threat. White could pile up on the e5 pawn. Now the black's rook has left e8. So rook c to e3 forces e4, and then maybe you try d3 to open up the position and stick a rook on e6 eventually, even if it comes with an exchange sacrifice. But this is a huge moment for Chigaev, who cannot back down now. The attack is coming. He's got to hunker down, put a seatbelt on, and prepare for it.
And rook e3 looks really nice. But e4, d3, you're trying to chisel open the center here, but he goes f4 right away. He wants it all.
Play f4.
Wow, what a quick find by you and by Chigaev. That's not an easy move to play.
You close down the king side. h3 is surprisingly solid. And the g3 pawn, now it's black who wants to take his own pawn.
Wow, both sides
get
just
out
want to
of
get rid
here.
of the pawns in front of their piece. If that pawn were gone, black would have good chances. Can you go he does it. I was about to ask, can you go after the pawn? He says yes. Rook e8 check is just a swap of rooks, not too scary. The king runs away. f4 will drop after that. And Danya, the great knight against not the best bishop in the world, but doing a defensive task, that dynamic still persists.
That pawn on a6 turns out to be so valuable. What a forward-thinking third move by Lim to play a6 and generate that luft for his king. It takes the sting out of rook e8 check, which I don't think is a really human move, because the queen of d6 is going to be accessing the f4 pawn. And queen takes f4, followed by queen f2 check, is basically mate in two. Rook takes h3 there, and queen h2 is a classic mating pattern. Oh my goodness, what are we in for here as both sides drop down to 2 minutes?
But what is a natural move here? Because if you play rook e4, black still takes this pawn f4. You distract the rook away to take the other rook. So I feel like I'm not seeing a move here. King h1.
Queen h6? But queen h6?
Oh no, it's so direct.
We have on the spot.
Yeah, and actually the checkmate is pretty sick. This is going to happen. Lim Lei, he has been finding tactics all day, and Chigaev now sees it. Rook takes, and then rook h1 check is the deadly threat. So even if you play a move like rook e8 check, I believe the king a7 is the move. You take this rook, bam. You don't take this because you get mated, but I'm getting rid of my rook. The pawns couldn't get out the way. The rook can. Check and checkmate in two different ways. This is mate. Queen takes h1 was mate. Lim Lei just turned the tables real fast, and it's because his king has actually been the safer of the two.
Magisterial attacking prowess by Lim, and how symbolic it is that white finally drops lower on the clock than his opponent. And it comes at the moment when Chigaev realizes that checkmate is simply unstoppable. Rook takes h3, and we've talked about it now for a while, Robert. Once this pawn disappears from the board, the pressure down the h-file is way too strong to bear. Rook g to h8. I think Chigaev wants to give that check on e8, but it's not going to help. Even with two pieces on the h-file, black should be able to win. Even the simple rook to h4 and then picking up f4 should be more than sufficient for an easy win.
You know what the problem is, Danya, is that in the event of, say, a trade, I think we'll likely see this move, so I won't make it on the board after rook h8, that once the trade happens, here we go, thanks to our producer giving us an analysis board, that if we trade, can't draw quickly enough here, and you take this rook, you don't have a piece coming to e2 to stop the check. The knight is just too strong, and if you go rook e2, I could take your rook maybe, but that's checkmate in one.
What a mating construction. And rook e8 check is on the board. 2 or 3 accurate moves stand between Lim and the Division 1 knockout. He is finding them with room to spare. The threat of rook h1, that forces white to take the rook, and we know how that is going to turn out. I think Chigaev, he will probably force black to find rook h1, but that is basic Brian for Quang Liêm.
This is such a good game. I mean, white had the advantage according to the computers, the engines, but in a human game between these two, it just felt like it was too much to defend. And unfortunately for Chigaev, he was playing really well, but this should be game over in a few minutes. Even rook h2, just a quiet first move. That's been played now. Queen h5 next, going for the pin and win of this rook on e2. That's done.
And there's sick tactics galore. I was going to say queen e1. You could have
Ooh, good
taken
move.
on g2. Chigaev still trying. He kind of hunkers down, curls up into a
Oh!
ball. And what a move! Oh, this is
Take
amazing.
me. That is a fork on e2, hitting the king and winning back the queen with interest. Lim Lei is just a man on a mission. He is not, was never from the beginning of this game trying to just be calm. He said, I'll take what happens. I'll deal with it. And now rook e7. What's
Now
the
he's got to
idea?
deal with the threat of rook takes b7 check and queen f7. A last-ditch attempt by Chigaev to whip up counterplay against Black's king. Like Quang has to keep his eye on the clock.
I was about to say the same thing, but 43 seconds, he goes queen to renewing the threat of rook h1 with queen h2 checkmate to follow while hitting that rook that was on e7.
Gosh, Chigaev is not letting go.
No, he does not want to lose this game, but
Queen
that is a good
E3.
move.
Okay, queen a1 and it's over.
Great move. You have to block. That is resignation. And Lim Lei makes it through to Division 1 of the Chessable Masters. Danya, that was great display. And look at Chigaev. He is fuming.
And you can't blame him. He came oh so close. First, he comes back with the white pieces. Excellent opening preparation. He was better this game. There's no doubt that he was objectively better throughout, but I don't think that he can be too upset with the way that he played. It was a situation where you basically had to make one perfect move after another, and even with the extra time, that was a very tall order.